Today we are checking out an Ausom scooter. Well, I don't know if it's awesome yet, but that's the name of the company. Looks like they give us a 1.5 amp charger for this 48 volt 15 amp hour battery, so it's not going to charge very fast. And the scooter should weigh about 60 pounds ish, so not too heavy. Never seen a bike or a scooter company include these white gloves. Not really sure why they gave me these gloves, but I think I'm gonna wear them for now. So they give us a really secure locking mechanism on here. You've got this pin here that goes through, so even if this part comes undone, it's not gonna allow the handlebars to fold down. Definitely a little bit more assembly than I'm used to on these scooters. I had to put on the handlebars here and the screen right now. And here is a look at how everything looks folded up. So we just undo this bolt right here, and it just folds back like this. And then there's this little hook on the handlebars there, and then you can fold it down and you can pick it up like that. It's also nice to see that our height on our handlebars is adjustable with this quick release. Here you can see our 10-inch wheel by 2.75, so not super wide, but I've seen these on other electric scooters and they are air. You can see you have your little knob to fill it up there. We also have a spring in the front here, so this is a full suspension scooter. And then our charge port in an interesting location here. And here is our deck. There's no rubberized coating on here, but it does have these little things for grip right here, but it seems like it'd be a little bit slippery if it was wet out or something. We also have a disc brake here on the front, which is nice to see, in addition to the regen brake that's in the rear motor. Here is our rear brake along with our rear hub motor back there. It looks like they also give us a tail light, and then we have another spring right here. Then we have our fender, and you can put your foot back here as well, and then also hook that in to carry the scooter like I just showed you guys. That's the information on the hub motor. This is an 800 watt hub motor, 48 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery right here. You can see we have our screen here, and this does have NFC tags that it comes with. Hold our power button down, and then our screen comes to life. Then the password is 4 zeros, or you can use one of these NFC tags to unlock the scooter as well. Just like that. Then on our left here we have our horn. We have our turn signals, which is kind of an interesting little thing. You can cancel it out by just pressing down and then left or right. You can't have them on at the same time. That's how they look down here. You only have them on the rear. It does also indicate on the screen that they are on. I'm not sure what this little thing does right here. I don't know if that's an NFC thing or what. It doesn't twist, so I'm not sure. You have your brake here, which feels really, really firm. They are cable brakes. Then you have your screen here. And to change your modes, you just go through the plus and minus here. So you've got eco, sport, and then race. And then when you're in race, it gets us up to a top speed of 34, it says. It says that this scooter is limited to 28 though, but we'll have to see. You get an odometer up there, you get your little battery bar down there, and you get your Ausom branded display. Doesn't look like there's any USB on this one to charge your phone up. If you press the power button, you can get through a few other parts of the menu here. You got your trip, you got your voltage, and you got your odometer. And you got your rubberized grips that have a hole in them right here, but they feel pretty good, especially with your included white gloves. And that's how our headlight looks there, nice and bright. This is how I look standing on the Ausom L1. This is pretty comfortable for me, and you obviously can adjust the handlebars up and down, so you can adjust them to whatever position you're comfortable in. That's one thing with a lot of scooters that I've tested out before is they're non-adjustable, so it's nice that you can move these. And then you have your suspension on here too, which actually feels really springy. This feels like some decent suspension. It's always hard to balance these scooters, but I mean, it feels comfortable, just first impressions. Feels pretty good. I don't like the fact that it goes into park mode automatically. That is super whack, and I do not like that at all. I'm gonna figure out if I can get around that because that's annoying. But yeah, everything seems pretty cool on this scooter. I really like the display on here, and hopefully we can get up past 28 miles an hour, but you know, this is a decently powerful scooter. It says that there is a weight capacity of about 280 pounds on this thing, so if you're a big guy, then you can still ride this thing, so that's good. And if you're a tall guy, you can still ride this thing because you can adjust the handlebars up and down. So according to their current Amazon listing, this is listed at $599 right now, and if you buy two, you get an 8% discount right now. So pretty good deal on these specs. I think that's a reasonable price for a scooter like this. So I'm gonna get the Ausom L1 out on the road and see how this thing does, and even maybe take it a little bit off-roading as well. So let's hit the trail and get out there. All right guys, so out here testing out the Ausom L1, and Ausom is just a crazy name for a scooter company. I'm gonna start a scooter company called Hell Yeah, and then sell it like that, man. That's gonna be just as cool as Ausom is. But Ausom's a funny name for a scooter company. But you know, the suspension on this thing, just my first impression, the suspension on this thing feels really good. It's probably the best suspension I've had on a scooter so far. And it's not like an off-road scooter or anything, but it still is really, really good for the road, especially. I'm bouncing on it right now and it feels like a pogo stick almost. It's really good. It feels decently peppy. If you've never been on an electric scooter before, you're definitely gonna be impressed by this, and it's gonna feel pretty quick. But you know, having ridden some faster scooters, this one still feels really nice, but you are only dealing with an 800 watt hub motor in the rear there, just a single motor, and 800 watts isn't the most, and this still is a 48 volt system, so not the craziest specs, but it still is a really fun scooter, and it's definitely more than enough to, you know, get you up to speed and get you around town and everything. We'll do a little bit of an off-road test with this scooter, since, you know, it's got the big knobby 10-inch tires, and it's got the really, really nice suspension on here. It's gonna be like the highlight feature of this scooter is this suspension on here. And it's not even the best. Like, you can still hear my voice is rattling around, but you know, we're cruising along on this flat grass here at about 18 miles an hour. A lot of the bigger bumps it kind of has trouble with because these are small wheels, but the little vibrations and stuff, it handles it decently well. Oh man. Did it just beep at me, or what was that? I don't know what that, it like beeped at me or something when I almost fell over right there trying to turn around. Man, this scooter is, I love these scooters, they're so much fun. The suspension on this scooter feels awesome. And just going down this hill here, I'm definitely not gonna do the normal test where I go up the hill back there, because I know it's not gonna make it up, because it's not that powerful, but it still is a decently powerful scooter here. You've got our NFC tags flapping around in the wind over there. I think I showed you guys in the garage how we turn that on. You just hit the power button and then you tap the NFC card on the top of the display. And speaking of the display, it's a pretty decent display. I got my sunglasses on right now, and I can actually see it without my sunglasses perfectly fine. A lot of times on these scooters, for whatever reason, the screens just aren't very bright. I don't know what it is about these manufacturers just not making a very bright screen. A lot of times the screen is just not very bright on these. And you know, it seems like the controller on this thing is handling the off-road stuff. I'm actually gonna flip around because really I'm not gonna spend this whole video going off-road on this thing. But it seems like the controller, so far at least, is handling this off-road stuff. I've had some other scooters on here before that have actually kind of overheated on me, and they really started to cut power when I was on this same exact trail. So it was a lower powered scooter, but you know, this is handling it just fine. This is really fun to just go over this grass on this scooter like this, man. It feels awesome for scooter suspension, and these tiny little wheels, you know, you don't really have much wiggle room as far as comfort on this thing, so the suspension, really, really nice. Our speedometer does look like it's pretty accurate on there too. It looks like the GPS just lags behind a little bit, but it seems like the display on here is pretty responsive, and we're going up a big hill. Yeah, man, that's fun. That's really fun. That's probably the best off-road scooter I've ever had. I really haven't checked out many scooters though, to be fair. But anyways, why don't we do a quick 0 to 20 right here. We will mark this tree as our start point, and then we'll just floor it off the line. Really pretty comfortable power off the line there, not too crazy. You're not gonna get thrown off the back. 18, 19, and 20. And that was according to the built-in display on the scooter here. The display is actually, you can move it around, but you can only move it down this much because the stem gets in the way there. I'm gonna go down this giant curb right here. Yeah, man. I really didn't feel anything too harsh on that. I think this is the main use case for this scooter, is riding it on the street like this. You do have turn signals on this scooter, but I don't know if they are that great. Like, they're down at the very bottom. I don't think if somebody's behind you, they're really gonna see them. The problem with turn signals on scooters is that they're usually down really low and no car is gonna see them, especially if they're behind you, like right up on you. They're not gonna see them because they're gonna be on the ground. We're hitting about 27, 28 here on throttle only, which is what they claim the top speed is, so that's nice. Brakes on here feel really, really good. They are cable brakes, and it does come with regen brake as well to help out. But these brakes feel really good. They are discs like I showed you guys earlier, and they're cable operated, but that should be fine for a scooter like this. It's not the most high performance scooter where you're gonna be going 40, 50 miles an hour. Just ran over a big stick right there. I'm super I do not know what this little pad thing is here. I wonder if it's like a touchpad or something. I don't know, it's not doing anything when I touch it. I have no idea what that little pad is. But then you got your horn, which is actually a pretty decent horn for a scooter. It sounds like an e-bike horn. This looks like an e-bike headlight as well. I've seen it on some bikes before, so it should be pretty decent for getting around town and everything. I like this little trigger throttle here. I haven't had a scooter with one of these before, and it just kind of makes sense on a scooter. The one super annoying feature on this scooter is the fact that it goes into park mode automatically. And I hate bikes that do that. I hate scooters that do that. I kind of get why they do that for safety, but I wish you could at least turn it off, because on this, if you're stopped at a stoplight and you're stopped for more than 20-30 seconds, it's gonna go into park, and then when you go to inevitably get back on the throttle again, it's gonna be in park, and you're gonna be holding up traffic behind you if you're in traffic, because you're gonna have to switch all the way back into race again, because why would you wanna be in any other mode on this thing? Why don't we switch down into eco? Oh, our brake's squeaking. Yeah, it looks like it tops us out at 12 miles an hour on eco. Up to sport mode now. We're in sport mode, and it's topping us out at 15. So you have park, you have eco, and then sport, and then race. But I bet you guys can guess what I'm keeping this in at all times. Yeah, race mode. So let's see, it's saying we got about 51 volts, we got about 4.3 miles, and it's going between full and one battery bar down. Hopefully pretty good range on this thing. You know, it's got a 15 amp hour battery. It's not super powerful. So I would say you'd probably be able to get 15 miles out of this, at least 15, 20 miles if you're driving it slower than I am. One thing I do like about this scooter is the fact that you can move the handlebars up and down. It does have an adjustment, and that's one of the first scooters that I've owned that has that feature, and it's just super, super nice to have that feature on a scooter, because sometimes, I'm not a super tall person as it is, but even I've been on some of these scooters that don't have the adjustment, and I've been my hands are down here, you know what I mean? It's it's made for a kid. So to be able to move it up and make it a little bit more comfortable, that's a really nice feature to have on a scooter. And it makes it more livable when you're dailying something like this. If an e-bike is already super portable, a scooter is even more portable, because this thing, you literally can just walk it. It's a lot smaller than an e-bike. That's kind of the appeal of these electric scooters, in my opinion. If you're gonna be using them as a tool to get around, as a vehicle, is you can easily get these up into an apartment compared to an e-bike. If you're gonna get an e-bike that can go 50 miles an hour, you are not gonna be able to get that up a flight of regular apartment stairs. Whereas you could have a scooter that goes 50 miles an hour, and it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get upstairs, but it's not gonna be impossible. And you can fold it down and you can throw it in your apartment. So it takes all the cool stuff about an e-bike, the speed and kind of the stealthiness. It allows you to have it in a smaller package. These scooters are a lot cheaper typically than, squirrel in the road. At least when you look at it from a speed to cost ratio, you're gonna get a faster scooter for a lot less money than, if you get a 50 mile an hour e-bike, that's gonna cost you $2-3 grand at least. Whereas if you get a 50 mile an hour scooter, that could cost you $1,200 bucks. All right, we're gonna go back on the trail. We're gonna go up this curb here. Yeah, you can jump curbs all day in your Ausom L1. It's pretty much every other electric scooter I've ever tested. The front is kind of a little twitchy, the steering is a little bit twitchy. And if you're going really fast, you could get speed wobbles, not gonna lie. But I mean, this one doesn't feel too bad. But it's just something to keep in mind when you're riding an electric scooter, is the front can get a little bit sketchy. Stopping from 20. Hey, no, it's really good. It can definitely throw me over the front, which I do not want to happen, so I'm not gonna do that, but just know that these brakes are fine for what this scooter is capable of. So the current price on their website right now is $5.99. I don't know if you guys can see my phone. $5.99 right now on their website, and whoa, there's a dog. And I think that's a pretty good value for this scooter. I mean, the specs and everything. This thing is decently quick. It's a peppy little scooter, and I think for $5.99, that's a pretty good deal. They do also, they did give me a discount code for you guys too. I'll leave that in the link in the description. That'll get you the best price, of course. Oh, another abandoned dog. Man, there's just freaking dogs everywhere. You get a 48 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery, 800 watt motor. They claim 44 miles of range, which maybe you could get in eco mode. And they do give you a 28 mile an hour top speed, which is a true 28 mile an hour top speed. I'll give them that too. They do give you a 28 mile an hour top speed. A lot of these scooter companies, like if e-bikes are, I don't even know how to like compare it. Like e-bikes are the Wild West right now. Like scooters are the Wild West. Like they can just say anything they want. Like scooters look like freaking gaming PCs just riding around on the street with wheels. You know, there's LEDs everywhere and there's like horns and like 16 headlights and LEDs on the side and RGB. It looks like you're driving a gaming PC down the road. So these scooters are just the Wild West right now. A lot of times manufacturers just kind of say whatever speed. They're not usually very honest. It's kind of like with the whole range thing too, is they say, you know, it goes 100 miles on range and then you only get like one, and then you look, well not one, okay, let's say like 20, you get 20 miles of range, and then you look in the sales page and there's like an asterisk next to it and it says 100 miles if you're only going 1 mile an hour. You know, it's just stuff like that where it's kind of sneaky marketing. But man, it is a ton of fun on this thing. Like this thing is just so much fun. I love these scooters. You know, if you want to switch it up from an e-bike, these scooters are a great way to do that. You know, it's just a great way to switch it up, and it's still really fun. They're even cheaper than an e-bike that can do like the equivalent speed typically. I mean, $600 will get you a decent e-bike. You know, I checked out the Uchi V8 a while ago, and that's a bike for like $600, around the same price as this thing. And that could get me up to like, I think 26 or 28 miles an hour or so. Like I said, these scooters are really good for portability. That's really one of the big reasons why you'd get an electric scooter, because of the portability factor. You know, they're a lot more portable than an e-bike, trying to get the thing up a bunch of stairs. Man, there's a lot of traffic right now. Holy moly, there's a ton of people out here. So far, I'm loving the Ausom L1. I think this is awesome so far, and that's just a hilarious name for a company, Ausom. I'm gonna start a scooter company called Hell Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, we are hitting some traffic here. I'm just passing everybody that's on foot back there on my scooter. You feel so tall on these scooters too, because it raises you like another 6 inches up off the ground. This is a very, very smooth scooter, and part of that does have to do with the suspension. This is an incredibly smooth scooter. I'm very, very impressed with how smooth this thing is, and part of that is because of this awesome suspension on here. Oh, look at that. Oh man, it gave up on us there. It failed the fire hydrant hill test. All right, so finishing up our ride here on the L1, and it's doing this interesting thing where it's flashing the battery bar at me, but I still have like 2-3 bars of battery, but you can see it'll just flash, well, I don't know if you can see, but it'll just flash 2 bars of battery. Looks like we're sitting at about 46.8 volts. So I mean, we're a little bit less than half battery on this thing. And I don't know if it cuts off at like 44 volts or what. So some things that I really like about this scooter is the suspension, man. The suspension is a really, really good feature on this scooter. It's very plush. It is not like the absolute softest, but it still feels really, really good. It's the best scooter suspension I've ever been on. It feels amazing, and it's really, really comfortable for riding around on city streets and stuff. And you can even do a little bit of off-roading. Whoa, that was a big bump. Off-roading on some grass here like this. And you know, it's got enough power to do that too. The 800 watt motor. Controller's not overheating on me when I'm going off-road, and I've been treating this thing pretty harsh. I haven't really been super nice to it. I also love this trigger throttle on here. This thing is awesome. It's very responsive and it feels good. The brakes feel super solid. They're really, really good. I like the styling on this scooter, you know, the black accents, and it is gray. It's not just like another black scooter, so it does stand out a little bit, but you don't have the super flashy stuff like all the crazy LED lights and stuff. It is nice that they give you turn signals as well on here, but they are, you know, a little bit hard to see. I'll just show you guys. I'm surprised I haven't showed you guys yet, but that's what the turn signals look like. But I think for oh, just went into park, man. That's, oh my God. So for a $600 scooter, you know, it's not too bad. Again, any discount codes I can get you guys are gonna be in the link in the description, but that brings us to the things I don't like about this. And the number one thing I don't like about this is that automatic park feature. That's just the worst. I hate when companies do that on bikes and stuff. It's not fun at all. But I mean, that's really it. You know, if I paid around $500-600 for this thing, I'd be really, really happy with it. The suspension's really good, and it's just fun to cruise around on this thing at 28 miles an hour. You know, if you live in the city or something you're just trying to get around and, you know, you throw a backpack on like I have on right now. These scooters can be really, really, really practical. So that is the Ausom L1, guys. This is a awesome little electric scooter, and I can totally recommend this thing. So if you want to pick one of these up, you can go ahead and use that link again. I'll have any discount codes I can get you guys in the description there and in the pinned comment. That being said, guys, that is the Ausom L1. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you are enjoying your bikes and scooters out there and you are riding safe. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.